Hello, Hashgraph community. Welcome back to another episode of Hash Out. My name is Jim Gao. First of all, I want to make a disclaimer. I'm just a big fan of Hashgraph, but I'm not an employee of Hedera, the company. Even though, not all employees of any company is a true believer of the technology that they have. So I have no affiliation with Hashgraph. I don't own their stocks. I own some HBARs. That's it. So the opinion that I express in this channel is strictly my own. Has nothing to do with Hashgraph, the company. So with that said, first of all, congratulations to the company Hashgraph for launching OA, for reaching OA on September 16th, earlier this week. And it's a big milestone for everyone involved. I liken this to a restaurant that actually opens its door to public to serve customers. Before, the owners of the restaurant, they were just mainly testing their dishes to targeted audience, targeted customers. But now with OA, it's open to public to serve the public. So it's a monumental. But I don't see this as the end of the journey. In fact, it's really the beginning. Just like graduation from college does not mean the end of hard work. It's really the beginning of hard work. You spend 4 years preparing to go into the real world, and that's what graduation symbolizes. It's the end of the beginning, and there's a reason it's called commencement. It's to begin, doing hard work in real world. And same thing with OA. And it's not only for Hashgraph, the company itself, but also for the developers, the decentralized application developers who will be building on Hashgraph. It's really the beginning of the journey. And I think some of you probably is aware that my team and I have been working on a decentralized exchange on Hashgraph over the past few months. We're kind of late comers to the party. I didn't personally hear about Hashgraph until beginning of 2018, and it wasn't until Hedera 18 that I attended in Dallas in October of last year that I became a true believer in this technology. And I started Hashgraph Exchange at the beginning of this year, early 2019. And took me a while to get all the resources together and assemble a team. Right now we have a team of 4. I'm the only business guy in the team, and the other 3 are developers, technical developers. So what we aim to do is to create a decentralized exchange that's going to be run on Hedera Hashgraph. And on OA, we released a very crude version, an alpha version of our Chrome extension. I'm going to leave a link. You can go to our website, which is myhex.net, myhex.net. It was launched already, but to be honest, it's not very user friendly yet. Our CTO, Suman Das, is a great back-end engineer, but we need more work on the front end, and then that's why we're working on it right now. So the user experience is still not up to par. And that was the reason we didn't really have a big fanfare when we launched this platform, because it was almost embarrassing to show it to the community, and we didn't want to generate a lot of negative feedback, initially. I think it's more prudent to limit the exposure to only a few testers in the beginning, and once we perfect the model, perfect the prototype, we can release to a wider audience. But with that said, it's live. It came alive on OA and ready to be downloaded and tried out. And we do look for front-end developers to join our team. If you're interested, if you believe in Hashgraph, the technology is going to revolutionize the world, and you believe that there has to be a decentralized exchange in the future that's going to eliminate many of the problems that centralized exchanges have today, and you believe in the combination of a decentralized exchange on Hashgraph reach out to me, and we can try to perfect this decentralized exchange in the upcoming month. So with that said, I want to talk a little bit about I guess some of the anxiety people feel regarding the Hashgraph, the HBAR price, which also came to be traded on the on the 16th, early on the 17th. And I personally didn't even look at the price in the first 24 hours. The reason being, I made a commitment to myself a month before OA to not check the HBAR price on the first day. So I took a first peek on like midday of 2017. During the day of the 17th, the Tuesday, and I saw that on exchanges, the HBAR price went as high as 30 cents and as low as 6 cents. So I was, I kind of felt bummed out, for not be able to get in at 6 cents. So as we speak right now, which is the 19th of September, currently HBAR is hovering around 5.7 cents. So very low, even half the price as the SAFT 3 round price, which took place last year, almost over a year ago. I believe it's oversold. That's why I am, whatever cash I have, I just threw it in at, around 6 cents range. And I'm buying as many as I can, right now, as we are recording this. Because I do believe the long-term objective and long-term potential of the project is going to warrant a much higher HBAR price. And that's why, even though people are selling, I know, and I see why people are selling, especially the seed investors, who can have at least 10x of returns. I mean, why not to sell? It's no-brainer. But it gives us, the chance to buy in, because I didn't buy into SAFT 3, last year, even though I wanted to, but because my net asset under management was less than $1 million, so I wasn't qualified to buy into SAFT. And I was pretty bummed out over the past year because I couldn't participate in SAFT 3. But it turned out to be a blessing. Right now I can get in at half the price, and I have another half of my cash stored away, and I'm hoping that I think there's going to be another release on the 23rd of September next week. So if seed is dumping more, maybe hit the price to 3-4 cents, I'm hoping to spend the other half of my cash buying at that price. I hope that's not going to be a pipe dream. There's a good chance that 6 cents is going to be the bottom, the floor of HBAR price. It's hard for me to imagine it dips below 5 cents, but it could happen. If it happens, it's great for me, and I think great for anybody who are willing to, who really believe in the project. And but with that said, I want to reiterate that what we talked about in the last video, which is Hashgraph itself has little value, just like internet itself has little value, just like an empty highway has little value. What imbues internet value are the thousands of applications built on top of it, the Googles, the Amazons, the Alibabas. Same thing with Hashgraph. Hashgraph by itself is just an empty highway. It's a state-of-the-art empty highway, but you need the cars, the trucks, the buses on it, transporting people and goods to and fro in order to generate utility and create value. And that depends on the next generation of entrepreneurs creating the next generation of decentralized applications. And I think until we see killer dApps out there running on Hedera Hashgraph, there's not going to be significant real demand for HBARs. There might be speculative demand for HBARs, but in terms of fundamental demand, it has to go hand in hand with decentralized applications, as we talked before. And that's why, I think as a community, as developers, we need to really step up and create the next generation of decentralized applications. And I think it's going to happen with HCS. When HCS, the SDK of that comes out, it could be later this year or next year. But once that happens, I think that's going to be a game changer. Then we'll see killer dApps developed on top of Hashgraph. And at that time, we at Hex, we intend to revamp our architecture completely to move from the current smart contract architecture to the HCS / Hyperledger Fabric based architecture. And we'll have a much better product at that time. But meanwhile, I think it's really uncertain time. There is an uncertainty because nobody knows what the future is, and everybody's seeing the prices crashing. It's kind of scary. If you invested in SAFT 3, at 12 cents, you see the investment got cut in half, especially considering you put in the money locked away for over a year. You expect the price to hit $1 by now, and it's being cut in half. It is tough. And that's what really separates the true believers of the project from, the froth, the speculators, the opportunists. And, we talked about in the last video, we saw many of those people, the opportunists, in the Telegram chats in the past few weeks, before OA. And right now, you don't see them anymore. You don't hear from them. And, for all intents and purposes, they might have given up on the whole project. And I think it's really, at this moment, I think there'll be many more trialing moments like this in the future. But it's really like here is really what separates the person who is really committed to this endeavor from those who just want to make a quick buck, in Hashgraph. I do believe. Hey, sorry about that, guys. Just had to take a phone call just now. It was one of the developers who was interested in our team, Hex, and we just chatted for about an hour. Hi, Jim, if you're seeing this. It was very nice talking to you. So I think that's one of the perks, I guess, being exposed through the official channels of Hedera. A lot of people, were being exposed to the community. And a lot of some developers are showing interest in what we're doing. I've received some of the more encouragements and feedback from other members of the community. And we're always looking to grow our team. Because, like I said, OA, open access for Hashgraph, is not the end of the journey. To paraphrase the great Winston Churchill, referring to a critical battle of World War II, he said that it's not the end. It's not even the beginning of the end, but it is the end of the beginning. And I think that's what OA symbolizes for Hashgraph and also for us developers, the community. It is the end of the beginning. It symbolizes that we have graduated from this preparation period. And right now, the real work starts. And I welcome anyone who is interested to talk about Hashgraph Exchange, to just talk about anything, even the price of HBARs. Reach out to me, either on Twitter or via the website myhex.net. And let's build a decentralized future together. And I will see you on the next video. Take care.